Here's another episode of the free VST Plugin Detective, where I review, test out, and demonstrate various free VSTs, and I am super excited to do this one. This is arguably one of my favorite VSTs, especially when it comes to instruments I've ever used. This, right off the bat, I'm going to give it 5+ out of 5. One of the very few plugins that I do, and obviously, if you've watched the series for a while, you know that 1 out of 5, maybe 0, is the worst rating. 5 out of 5 is the best. So 5 out of 5 being like a perfect rating for a plugin. However, there are some plugins that I feel go above and beyond just being free. Whether it's a combination of the GUI or the graphical user interface and the sound, basically everything allows a free plugin to really, for me, be just so good that I'm surprised it's free. I'm like, how does it not cost money? And this one is that case. This is the CloudRum, meant to simulate a steel tongue drum. And I'm going to show you the GUI right now. Boop, there it is. So I'm going to solo this. You can hear it. Now, this is, like I said, meant to simulate a steel tongue drum. And the amount of stuff you can do with this plugin is amazing. It's unreal, especially, like I said, showing you the GUI right away. As you can see, I can click. Super awesome that it does that, right? Then, if I don't want to do that, I have kind of the full, simulating kind of a piano or keyboard right here. Insane, right? It's such a good sound, too, especially for a steel tongue drum. Now, you have different settings as well. You have the body, you have the width if you want to, synth, and I'm going to get to that in a little bit, and obviously main. Then you have basically all these different options of ADSR, obviously, and obviously you can adjust these too. Super, super cool. And then you have these settings within the mixer too. So if I want to do like synth mute, right? So I'm gonna turn that up. Right, so you kind of have like a synth in the background going if I want to. Also, but I can mute these, I can solo them as you can see. In addition to, I have 4 different settings. Now, normally on a plugin, especially if it's free, but even if it's not, I usually suggest doing your own kind of audio effects within like Ableton or other DAW you're using. So for example, you see here you have 5-band EQ, compressor, stereo delay, and reverb. I do suggest using the audio settings in your DAW. They're always going to be better than something in a plugin, but they're still really good. Like the reverb here, obviously you have completely here. You have stereo delay, 5-band EQ, and a compressor. So for me, I probably wouldn't use these, but if, like, say you have a DAW that doesn't have these and you want to basically do some compression, some light EQing, it's amazing that within this plugin, already having a good sound, already having a good GUI, you have these kind of 4 pretty much standard, I guess if I'd call it that, kind of audio settings and effects that are really, really good just to make your production a little bit more tight. So you have this right here. Obviously, I'll show you the ADSR. And I have basically a couple different settings. Now, you have stop ringing 1 and 2, which I'll kind of get to. And then you basically have the mute. So I'm going to show you this melody that I made. This is my track Mil, which was on my 5th album, Viva El Culo. So I'll play you a little bit, actually. Kind of show you. No, I basically froze and flattened it. I'll kind of get to that later as to why, but. Alright, so kind of again. It's kind of like a blend of world music and Brazilian bass. And then that kind of transitions into this. No, shoot. So you get the idea, right? So this is a great track because I wanted to kind of combine, like I said, world music with Brazilian bass, kind of some deep house electro vibes in there as well. And this instrument, this VST, was perfect for that. Now, the one thing about this VST that's tricky, not necessarily a bad thing, but can be very tricky, is it's very CPU intensive. As you can probably tell, this is going crazy just when I was playing the drop. And so what I did is I basically froze and flattened it, which is basically a nice technique to basically use little, CPU power. So that's why, as you can see, I have 2 different things here. I have the normal, basically APC, or that's what they call it, basically the CloudRum. And then also I have here, which is basically the actual melody. So I'm going to show this, I'm going to play it, show you how it sounds like this. So this is the normal setting. This is kind of how it normally sounds. So that's kind of the first setting that it has. And then it has stop ringing, which is kind of cool because it kind of cuts it off. I'm going to take off all these settings actually while I'm playing this. Just so you can kind of hear it in its, true form. So what I can do is, let's say I play it. So we'll stop the ringing. So I have different types of stop ringing, right? Right, so you basically have different settings for that, which is pretty awesome. Like I said, that you want to kind of cut those tails off. And then the second one is basically sustain or mute. Now, in this track, I like the mute setting better. Personally, I also like it. I feel like there's a lot of overtones, especially when you have a lot of other stuff going on in the song. So when I play this, right, there's a lot of overtones kind of going on. However, when I put it on mute, it sounds more of like a kind of like a melody type sound, right? And it kind of has this nice texture to it. And that's why obviously when you hear this one, obviously when I'm going to solo this obviously be frozen flattened, the setting of it being basically muted, and with other effects put onto it. Right. And I do suggest, just because there can be a lot of overtones, even when I was playing this one, you can kind of hear them a little bit. There are lower overtones to this plugin, so I do suggest, make sure you do some good EQing, some just maybe some compression, basically other stuff to make sure that it kind of tames it a little bit. But I love how you do have all these overtones with this plugin, because it shows that it really does simulate an authentic, real steel tongue drum. Because if you've ever played one of them, or if you've heard someone play it, there are so many overtones and so many basically tones that are being, especially with the style of the instrument, I feel like itself, there's a lot more reverb and other stuff kind of going on that doesn't just give it a clear cut sound. There's obviously a lot of other sounds kind of combined with it, and I think this plugin simulates that perfectly. So like I said, this one's a 5+ out of 5. Such a cool plugin, especially for this track like I just showed you. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better instrument. I was kind of looking for an authentic world music type sound. I wanted something that was similar to this, and I was truly blown away by this plugin. I think simply because, one, obviously it's free, so you gotta get it. Why not download it? It's free. But two, the layout's great. Three, the extra features within this free plugin is great. Like I said, the compression, the 5-band EQ, the stereo delay, and the reverb, not to mention all the mixer settings that you have, and the ASR. But then lastly, obviously, just the sound quality being so great, not to mention if you want to use the sustain, or basically the normal setting. Oh, shoot. Yep. Or the mute setting, which I prefer more, just personally. So, such a great plugin. Easily one of my favorite free VSTs for instruments. I would say definitely one of my favorite VSTs ever. I think just in terms of there's a lot of work that you can tell went into this one. But also, too, just as an instrument, such a great sound, such a great functionality, great GUI, such a good element to have in your productions. Definitely check it out. I have the full free download listed below in the description. And in addition to, I know some shameless self-promotion, but this track Mill I have listed below in the description if you want to basically stream it or download it for free, or just check it out, whatever works best for you.